All right, everyone, we are live. Just give me a second here to get rolling. Welcome everybody to our live stream with Senior Vice President, COC member of ACN, Mr. Al Thomas. How are you doing today, sir?
Fantastic. Good afternoon and good morning, depending upon what side of the coast of part of the world you're in today. Thank you.
Amen. Well, we are honored to have you on here today on our Top Producer podcast. We are streaming live on our Facebook page. I see we have some people trying to get on our Zoom, but we're going to get everybody on our Facebook page as well. So we are live and in action with one of the top people in the entire network marketing industry all across the world, a legend in this industry, Mr. Al Thomas. So again, sir, thank you so much. We've also got Regional Vice President Shaquille Cooper on here today.
Yeah.
And, we are ready to get rolling with you, sir. So before we get started, we want to thank everybody for logging on. And we're also live. We're going to be posting this on our YouTube page as well. But we have an awesome man on today. And we have put together this Top Producer podcast. A lot of people see people like you, Mr. Thomas, on the big stage. They see the success. They see what you've done in your life, the freedom you've created through this industry of network marketing. But a lot of people don't get to really hear the backgrounds, the real stories. Being on stage, you only have so much limited time to get your message across. So that's why we've put on these podcasts, really to get to know you and some other top producers across the world as well. So let's go ahead and get right into it if you're ready.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead. I want to thank you, first of all, for inviting me to share my story. And I think I'd hope to touch and bless some people out there.
Well, we know you will, sir, and you have a great story to tell. Let's go back in time before we get into anything else. And a little bit about, we were talking, and you're from the California area. Tell us a little bit about your childhood, because in business, you got started really young in business. I think you were 18 years old when you bought your first real estate property, which was, I think, a duplex, an investment property. So why don't you go back in time, tell people what you did before that and how that was able to happen at such a young age?
Well, I was always told that wealthy people hold their wealth in real estate. And you could read Forbes 400 wealthiest, and you could see that 99% of them made their money, number one, in business, and number two, they held their wealth in real estate. So I read, self-taught, did a lot of reading and figured out myself. I never took a course. I just read. And I'm still today. I've got books in my bedroom, my bathroom. I have books everywhere throughout my house and my library full of books because I'm a reader. And leaders are readers. So I wanted to understand the principles of wealth, and I started buying real estate. And next thing you know, before you know it, I was up to about 54 properties and homes and apartment buildings, and I own a hotel. But it stems back to, let me go back even further. I had the pleasure and the blessings. It's a blessing that God saw some powerful in me that He gave me not one, not two, but three billionaires that trained me at a young age. And so you thought I was stupid or dumb, or I would take the information and pass it on freely, because see, with a closed fist, you can't give or receive. The more you give, the more God will bless you with. And one of them sat me down one day and he said, "Son, let me teach you about wealth." And I said, wow, I had no idea. And he first of all gave me a ride on his jet, and he landed. He goes, "You want to learn the keys?" And I go, "Yeah, come on. Is that a dumb question? Is it prank?" "Yeah, I've just got on your private jet. I want to know how, at a young age." I said, "Yeah, I want to learn." He said, "Let me see if you're worth my time." I go, "Yes, sir." He goes, "What did your mom and dad talk about when you had breakfast at the kitchen table?" I said, "Well, gosh, like most Americans, go to school, get a good education, find a good job." And he started laughing. He had a big old Santa Claus belly laugh. He says, "Young man, you were trained to work for rich people like me or some Fortune 500 company out there." He says, "You were never trained to get wealthy." And I go, well, what do you mean by that?" He goes, "Think about it. Who do you know got wealthy working a job?" And I said, "Well, I couldn't think of anybody." He goes, "That's my point. See, a job is good for one thing only, to put food on the table. It's your job outside of that to get wealthy." He says, "So what kind of business are you in?" I go, "What do you mean?" And people always want to tell you what kind of job they have. He goes, "No, that's what kind of job you have. What kind of business are you in after 5?"
Right.
And that made a lot of sense to me. And then he said something else to me. He said, people that make 50 grand a year down here, can they teach you how to make $50,000 a month up here? I go, no, sir, they can't. He goes, so why you keep listening to these people? He said, if you buy in their conversation, you buy in their lifestyle. Is that what you want, son? I go, no, sir, that's not what I want. I want your lifestyle. He goes, it's not that difficult. He says, and he gave me my first journal and he gave me my first pen. And he says, now write this down. And he cracked open my journal. That's the first time I ever learned about a journal besides Jim Rohn. And he says, I'm gonna give you 2 key words. You find these 2 key words, young man. He goes, you jump in. When you find these things, jump in with both feet. He goes, don't argue with broke people. Let them be right. You be wealthy. And I said, yes, sir. And when I cracked open the journal, he goes, the first rule, he says, wealthy people, we're not smarter than you. We just do things differently than you. And I go, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, get your pen. I'm about ready to give it to you. He says, first of all, when you get around wealthier people, son, he says, there's a reason why God gave you 2 of these and 1 of these. He said, you need to listen when you get around successful people and just shut up. You get around broke people, you can talk because they ain't got nothing to say that can increase your wealth. I said, yes, sir. So first rule of wealth, he says, you ready? I go, yes, sir. He says, wealthy people have leverage. Now, first of all, before I say this, I don't want to insult anybody or make anybody feel less than, but I hope I can be open with everybody and tell you like he told me. Can I do that today? Tell you like he told me?
This is your show, brother.
All right. So this is what he said to me. He says, wealthy people have leverage. He says, the broke people that work for us is the leverage. And I wrote it down like, wow, that's kind of harsh. He goes, yeah. He goes, but it's the truth. See, son, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm here to shake you and wake you up because I don't want you to fall in that trap. And he called it a job a trap because I don't want you, if you have to fall in it for a little bit of time. Don't fall into it for a whole lifetime. It's a trap. Wow. He goes, let me, and he always gave me an explanation of leverage. He goes, let me give you what I mean by leverage. He says, son, he says, how many Starbucks in your town? 1 or zillions? I go, well, there's zillions of them. He goes, that's right. Leverage. He goes, what if you got a quart on every cup of coffee sold in all the Starbucks? Wow. I go, that's a lot of money. He goes, absolutely, it's a lot of money. He goes, think about that. That's just 1 Starbucks. What if you got to pay on all the Starbucks? I go, wow. He goes, that's the power of leverage. See, and he said, that's what you need to find, something where you can leverage your time, where you don't have to even show up. I go, wow, that's powerful. He goes, McDonald's does it, Burger King does it, CVS does it, Walgreens does it, but the problem is you don't do it. He goes, you need to find some kind of business you can get into where you can leverage your time because there's only one of you, and we all have the same amount of time in a day, 24 hours a day. I said, yes, sir, leverage is one of the principles I have to find. I go, I got it. I go, what's the next principle or I need to discover? He goes, the next thing wealthy people have is residual income. And I attempt to write it down. And here's what he said to me. He goes, do you understand residual income? I had no idea. I didn't know how to spell the word. I just scrabbled it down. He goes, do you know what it is, young man? And, I didn't want to play dumb. Guys, we have a lot of ego and pride. Here's what I said. Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, dummy me. Yeah, I know it. He said, what is it? Oh, shoot. I said, it's a ring around the bathtub. Residue. He started laughing. He goes, no, son. That's called residue. And he broke it down to me. Think about it. Most of us on here didn't know what residual income was because why? Your parents and my parents never had it. So how do we understand the word that we didn't ever, I know vocabulary. Right. He said, no, son, that's called residue. He says residual income is something you do one time and get paid over and over and over and over again. And he always gave me an example. He says, now here's an example. He says, think about your favorite music artist or band. How many times did they go in the studio and cut the song? One time. That's right. He said, anytime that song plays anywhere in the world, that artist get paid a royalty. He goes, that's what I'm talking about. Doing something once and continue getting paid. He goes, you see it all the time. He goes, think about those guys on MTV. He goes, those guys, they're not that bright. Matter of fact, they got their name right across their neck. You gotta be smart. They're right there, Bobo. He goes, but why is Bobo living in a $3 million mansion, 10 cars in the driveway, and me is in the bank, and that joker can't spell his name? He says he wasn't smart. He just tapped into residual income. And I said, wow. He says, so when you find something that has leverage and residuals, he said, son, jump in with both feet. Don't argue with broke people. Let them be right. You be wealthy. Wow. And I said, yes, sir. So when I first saw network marketing back in 1990, it was, December 1990. And I went to an opportunity and it was so funny. I went to a meeting and I saw it, and I signed up on the spot. I said, wait a minute, you mean to tell me a phone ring, I get paid? Yeah. Are you serious? So I signed up, and I was at the back door. I never forget it. It was up in Rockland, California. And this guy walked in. He saw it at a fair, and he called the company to find out what the meeting was. Nobody even invited him. So guess what? He was my first IBO. Sometimes you just show up. And I said, nobody invited you? He goes, no, I called the company in Texas, and I drove 45 minutes from Stockton to Sacramento. At that time, it cost 45 minutes. That's an hour and a half, because I want to go to a meeting to check it out. So nobody invited you? He goes, no.
Wow. So
I put my arm around him and said, hey, man, you're my new buddy. You're my new friend. That was my first IBO. The day I signed up, I signed my first IBO just by showing up. God will bless you just by showing up sometime.
Amen.
And nobody invited him. And that guy's name was James Moore. Went on to put about 600 or 700 people in my organization in the course of the next 3 or 4 years.
Wow. Wow.
So that was my first IBO. The day I signed up, he signed up.
What a story, man. What a story.
Now, you want to hear something? Let me show you how dumb I was. I got to be honest. Let me show you how dumb I was. That was December the 15th of 1990, right? That was 15th of December. Never forget it. I was so dumb, and so prideful that I wanted to make sure I started December 1st. So what I did, I wrote on the application December 1st of 1990, not December 5th. So I cheated myself out of half a month of 15 days because I wanted my start date to be December 1.
Wow.
And I went on to be top number 2 income earner in that company for, 15 years. Wow. I was, one guy was number 1 all-time money earner. I was number 2 all-time, and another friend of mine was number 3 all-time, but we did well. But the whole idea, I brought the same principles over to my new company that I've been with for 14 years, 15 years. And it's the same concept. It's just basically working and understanding concepts and understanding leverage and residuals. See, and most people don't understand, because all our lives, I was trying to find a coin here. I thought I had one on my desk here. I meant to put one on my desk to kind of go through a discussion on what we need to look at, because most of us were never taught. Oh, here we go. There's a quarter. Now think about it. If I ask the average person, how many sides to a coin is it? And guess what they'll say? 2. No, there's 3 sides. There's the front that most of us been living our whole life. Get up, go to school, pay bills, go to work. Get up, go to school, pay bills, go to work. And then there's the 5% side, the entrepreneurs. And the third side of the coin is the edge. And let me tell you something. In life, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. See, our job is to get people that work their whole lives the better way, to get on the edge. When you get on the edge of the coin, you can see both sides of the coin. And since March the 18th, we're in a brand new era, which I've been preparing for a long period of time. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about this era, I think our company co-founders understood that, because we went from $4.99 down to $1.99 back January the 6th. I think psychologically, they're so far in advance, they're waiting for this era to happen, because never in our lifetime, listen up, never in our lifetime has a whole world stood still. Right. In the United States alone, we have 330 million people at home. It's like God stopped the whole world. The clouds open up, the heavens are open up, the stars are lined up. Never in the world have people looking for an opportunity like they are today. And we have a blessing, we have an obligation, we have a commitment. I was talking to some of my leaders the other day. I said, why did God create you? They were like, well, no, why did he create you? They about 4 or 5 minutes, I said, I'm gonna give you one, there's 2 words going in a little bullseye. 2 words. Everybody's sitting all around, I go, I'll give you the first word why God created you. The first word is 2. What's the second word? They couldn't get it after 4 or 5 minutes trying to guess it. And here's what it is: to serve, to serve, to serve, to serve, to serve. Why did God give me those 3 billionaires? To serve. What? Serve people, serve mankind, to betterment people. And that's the beautiful thing I like about the power of network marketing, to serve the average person, to serve. So think about this. Our whole life, we were taught to be on this side of the coin. E stand for employee. The other E on this side is entrepreneur. Wow. 5%er, 95%er. Wow. See, on this side of the coin, you were trained to add. Watch this. We're going to train you how to multiply. Wow. Watch this. If I asked you, watch this. I'm going to use the same numbers, but watch multiplication. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. How much does that add up to? I'll say it again. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2.
10.
10. Now watch this. Your whole life you're trained to add. Nobody but the power of network marketing tell you how to multiply.
Right.
Watch this. Same numbers. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I'll say it again. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Same numbers. Same numbers. Same amount of numbers. What do you come up with?
64?
32.
32. Okay.
2 times 2
5 times.
times 2 times 2 times, it's 32.
Right.
See, so network marketing teaches us how to advance faster, using less and less and getting paid more and more. On this side, we have to do more and more and get paid less and less. That doesn't make any common sense.
Right. Right.
You see, and that's the power of this. So as you serve, well, Mr. Thomas, I'm over here serving. How do I get better at to serve? Well, let me give the second key, is to raise your value, add more, become more, become more. So on this side, we're teaching how to become more. And as you serve more, your income goes up. So serving first, and then creating or raising your value in the marketplace. And Jim Rose talks about that. How do we raise our value in the marketplace? Well, there's a couple things. I'll call it 5 keys. Number 1, you got to be persistent in business. See, because we never had a business on this side, we kind of play around. We don't know what it means. Over here, we teach you persistent. Be persistent. Show up every day. Be on the calls every day. Be a part of something big. Have a, as our president would say, have a track to run on of our network marketing. Have an even track to run on to win. Well, you got to be persistent to win. You're persistent. They're going to work every day, staying paycheck to paycheck. I mean, think about it. Have it ever pissed you off when you got your paycheck on Friday? Look at it. Top says, gross. And I was like, let's go. Where's the rest of my money? Well, because the government says you don't have a home-based business, we have the right to take taxes.
Right.
You can't write nothing off over here, but on here you can. So persistent. Number 2 thing, be committed to the company. I've been the top of 2 companies, and I stay committed. Stay committed. I don't look left. I don't look right. I'm committed.
Right.
That's so important. People get to try it out stage. I'll try it out. How do you try it out? Well, I'll try to come. How do you try to come?
Right.
Do you try to go to your car? Do you try to go to work? Or you go? You go.
Right.
That trying's for failure. That's loser's mentality. You don't try, you do it. Number 3, determination. Be determined to see the job through. Be determined. You know, I remember when before I hit senior vice president of the company, I called up Mr. Robert Scavanassi, have my ring ready for my SVP ring. And this is what he said to me. He said, I didn't even see you coming. I go, you wasn't supposed to. I'm not boisterous about it. My numbers will speak for me. Because why? I was determined to hit it at certain times. I have it ready. See, that's what I'm talking about. Not so much talk. People today, there's so much talking. Just go put the numbers on the board. How do you win in a baseball game? Same way you win in a football game. Who got the numbers? Put the numbers on the board.
Right.
Quit the conversation. Put the numbers on the board. Day by day, night by night. The 4th thing is have faith. Have faith in yourself. And not only that, have faith in the company. Have faith. Have faith. Something you can't see, you can't touch. Have faith.
Right.
Look, if somebody else did it, why can't you do it? Why did it take Roger Bannister to break the 4-minute mile and everybody started thinking, oh, I can do that, I can do it. But he had to set the bar, the limit, the bar to make sure everybody can hit it. So faith is so important.
Right.
Something you can't see, you can't touch is within you. Why not you? Because your whole life we were taught, but you can't have nothing, you can't be nothing. Who taught us that? Mom, dad, school teachers, pastors, preachers, but have faith in you.
Right.
And number 5, have a burning desire to want it bad enough. Have a what? A burning, not a desire, but a burning desire. Man, come hell or high water, I'm going to make it happen. Let me tell you something. If my parents were both alive and I said, I'm going to the moon, you know what my parents would tell you? He's going. We don't know when he's going, but he's going. Because I was always been a man of my word. Whatever I said I was going to, I did it. See, that's the key. Now, let me ask you a question, folks up there listening. If your friends would say something about you, what would they say about you? Or your person, your work? Do you have that integrity to see the job through? Right. Are you persistent, committed? Are you determined? You have the burning desire, and do you have faith in yourself enough? And I think that's what's happening today. We live in a world, everybody's so fragile. Oh, you can't say this. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, what's wrong? Bunch of wimps. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. But as Winston Churchill said, never, never, never quit.
Right.
See, I was in my first company. I said, I'm never quit till the wheels fall off. I'm an ACN. I'm not quitting to the wheels fall. I mean, I've never been a quit in my life. I don't know what it is to quit. And so should you. Be a winner. See, let me teach you something my mentor gave me about wealth. He said, MGM. You guys think I live in Vegas. You think it's a hotel. No. My mentor says, son, let me tell you how you get wealthy in America. He goes, number one, you got to manufacture something. Well, I can't manufacture. I wasn't that bright. My mother dropped me 3 times as a baby, and once was on a nail, Mr. Cooper. So I'm not that bright. So that's why I got this switch. I can't manufacture nothing. He says, wealthy people get wealthy, MG. I said, what? And he taught me something. He says, the second thing, G stands for grow something. Well, I can't grow nothing, man. I kill more plants than I do flies. Mm-hmm. And the third M is market something. He said, either you manufacture something, you grow something, or you market something. Now I can market, and all I do is market services that everybody needs daily. Now think about it: 330 million. 330 million people. One more time: 330 million in the United States alone. Not the other 26 countries we're in. That's just U.S.
Right.
That are looking for you and I.
Right.
Think about it: the average guy, first mortgage, second mortgage, 1 kid in private school, 2 car payments out there, a house up the lake he's got to pay for, and a boat up there. He broke. He's looking for you. He's making a U-turn because 6 months ago, not interested. A year ago, too good for it. He's a broke professional. Now he's really looking. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory. I'm just being what it is. See, back in the day, I studied true wealth. Now, back in the day, think about wealth. Now, I'm going to talk about wealth because people get cracked up with. But back in the day, John D. Rockefeller, what was he called back in the day?
Whoop. Are you there, Al? Hold on. Did we lose him? Hey, Al, we might have lost you here. Might have lost the connection. Please stand by, everyone. We apologize.
Can you see me?
I can see you now.
All right. Now think about Rockefeller, Robin Barron. How did he get his wealth? He found a way for the average person, kind of like we do. We have a business for the average person. He found a way for the average person to get kerosene. Why? He made it available for everybody. What do you think we're doing in ACN? We're making everything available for everybody. Right. You know, he said, hey, they could stay up longer, right? You can increase their hours of reading, books, reading, cooking, you know, whatever they want to do. Created employment for other people, right? Around the world in 27 countries like ACN is. So what did he do? He created something for everybody. What do we create now? We created a business that everybody can have from the base of their home. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about what we do. So when I saw network marketing and saw that service is something everybody has, why wouldn't I? I mean, think about it. A cell phone, you can't pay it off. Right. You want a state lottery for $10 million. Let's face it. You pick up your cell phone, you call your provider, AT&T now we have, you can't pay it off. No. You can't pay. I love our industry. You got to pay it every month until the day you pass away, and some of us are going to try to take to heaven and call our family up. So we have a business that's truly recession-proof, and that's what I like about what we do. You know, and I'm here to help people build, just like you are, sir, with your podcast. Yeah, yeah. So it's a way of helping people. It's a way of helping the average person make extraordinary income, or just take care of their family. Whatever you want to look at it as.
Al, you're amazing, man. And to be honest, one of my favorite trainers, and just the information that you have and pouring into people and the people that you've helped change their lives as well. I mean, it's just so transparent, you know, because of your personal development. And now, were you raised like this? Did your parents, were they entrepreneurs? Were they teaching you this? And how did, when you met these mentors, tell everybody how you met them, because I think a lot of people think, I don't know people like that. How could I ever get lucky to meet someone like that? So number one, how were you raised? Did your parents teach you these principles? And then number two, how did you meet your mentors? Like, how did that happen?
You know, my dad was in the military. He was a sergeant. He was a drill sergeant. My old man didn't play that. My old man was the kind of guy that, Matter of fact, even now when I go to the bathroom middle of the night, I make my bed. My old man was a drill sergeant. So when the guys came off the bus, he's the one that got them up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do a 5-mile run. I mean, and he brought that home. So he instilled the principles of hard work in me at a young age, and I still got it today. See, most people, I'll tell them, I'm not as smart as they are, I'm not as young as they are, but I'll outwork them because I have a strong work ethic, first of all. And so my dad was a sergeant. My mom stayed home, took care of those knuckleheads, and I just wanted to find out what successful people did. So I went on a journey, started reading books, and then I wanted to seek out one of the guys named Peter Daniels. Matter of fact, I got one of his books. It's called The Awesome Power of Public Speaking. I showed it the other day. It's in my other room. And I endorsed the back of the cover of the book. Now, he's a billionaire, asked me to endorse a copy of the book. But I started studying what wealthy people did and what the greats did. What I mean by the greats, think about this. Most of us study, I'll give you an example. Most of us study, let's say Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Right. But see, you got to go deeper than that. You got to find out who Michael studied. Let me give you an idea what I'm talking about. Michael Jordan studied under a guy named David Thompson. Most people don't even know that at all because, here again, we don't really dig in. So I'm a reader. I want to get to the root. I want to go through the lineage of successful thoughts. So Michael Jordan studied under David Thompson, and also who else did Michael Jordan study? Phil Jackson. So guess what? I studied Phil Jackson. There's a third person that Michael Jordan studied under, and most people have no idea. He played for the Bulls, which is Craig Hodge. Craig Hodge played in the NBA 10 years, 3-point shooter percentage 3 times, 2 NBA rings with the Bulls, and nobody even know who Craig Hodge is. Matter of fact, he was so good that Craig Hodge also trained Kobe Bryant. Most people don't know. Mm. So what am I saying? I just don't get to the surface information. I want to go deep, deep, deep and find out who served who and who learned from who. One of my billionaire mentors, Kenny Trout. You know, Patton was one of his guys that he loved. Guess who I started studying? Patton. Patton was a bad guy. He was a general. He was always in the front of the pack, not the back of the pack with his pearly white guns shooting at the planes. So what am I saying? Who are you studying? Folks, you only need 2 or 3 people. Mm. And that's what happens in this business. We got 10 people we're trying to study and we're wondering why we can't get to the next level. You only need 3. Right. You only need 3. And stick with those 3. And then digging who they studied, so lineage. So when I first got in, I think I'm answering your question. When I got in, I wanted to study people that I admire, that were great, that I want to know what they did to get where they're at. And then I studied their mentors, and that gave me a lineage of understanding why and how I could become successful if I just held on to those 5 things I gave earlier and just stay focused. And the key thing is staying focused. Yeah. So I think that helped answer your question. Was that?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Now, you were 18 when you bought your first real estate property. Did your mentors help you with that, or were you self-taught, you reading books about
Self-taught, read a book. I had a little bit of money saved up. I think I had to put $1,500 down, had an old FHA loan on it. You could assume no credit check, no nothing. I was barely 18 years old. Wow. And it was on 82nd Avenue in Holly in Oakland, California. I still remember the duplex. It was 2-bedroom, 1 bath on both sides, and I think I paid something like $18,000 for it. Wow. And I assumed the loan. I knocked on the door to get the rent, and the guy looked at me and I said, "I made all the wrong mistakes." I said, "Hi, I'm the owner." And the guy looked at me like, "Excuse me, little kid, you the what?" "I'm the owner. I'm here to get my rent." And I lived across the bay in San Francisco, so I had to run all the way across Oakland. That was about 35, 40-minute drive to get there. And he said, "Oh, come back Friday, come back Friday." And let's just say this. It took me a while to catch on, to really learn the hard way of hard knocks. And that's another thing. People are not willing to lose. See, part of winning is losing. Yeah. Write that down if you're taking notes. Part of winning is losing, and part of losing is winning. See, the average person is too scared to win. That's why they will lose. Mm. Look, starting a home-based business is not a lot to start with, but we always think of losing. Well, you already lost because you're thinking losing. Right. So here again, you got to be willing to invest. And look, let me tell you something. As many investments I've been into, the banking and other things, and look, I expect to lose. But if I lose 2 or 3 out of 10, I'm still ahead of the game. The average person, I can't lose. I don't want to. No, that's part of it. And it may not be your fault, but it's going to happen. So get over it. We don't want to lose in love. Get over yourself. It's a part of it. Yeah. So I think a lot of times we slow ourselves down by closing ourselves down. So yeah, that was the first property I bought. And once I learned what not to do, because I learned what to do, I learned more what not to do than what I did suppose I did. And then as I learned what not to do, is that advanced me to a point where next property I get, I know what to do. I'm not telling nobody the owner. Now, now I'm sort of, now, stuff that I do now is different, but that was the beginning of it. And as I got better at it, I started picking up bigger and bigger projects. I mean, I bought a hotel on a credit card. That's crazy, man, with a credit card. That's, wow. I can tell you some I can tell you some wild stories with buying stuff with no money down, getting money at the cash back to close of escrow, getting audited by the IRS. And how'd you buy all these houses? You don't have a job. When I showed them, like, oh, all right. I mean, but I've done all that because I tried to understand here, this is what's so important for the average person. Yeah. And doing this situation, I hate to call that stuff out. I just call it a situation. That's all it is, situation. It's all up here, most of it. Although the media just pounded out, but it's all up here. It's all up here. It's all up here. It's all up here.
Well, you said a great thing. I think, especially in network marketing, like you said, people are afraid to win. They're afraid to try to go out there and present the information. Everybody kind of says, what do I say to this person? How do I approach a real estate agent? And it's like, just go do it, because the more you do it, the more it works and the more you learn. Right.
I used to have 5 agents working for me. I started off there, and then I went to brokers. I brought a brokerage firm. I had 100 agents working for me at one point. I owned a mortgage company next door. I owned a piece of insurance company. And that's how I really started getting blowing up. And then I started lending my own money out. But the whole idea is it wasn't that difficult to do. It's just reading and then implementing it, and that's what people don't understand. See, people are, we live in a society, things I did then, you can't do now. You can't own the mortgage company and a real estate company next to each other. I own the building, but at the thing of it is, there's more things today you can do faster and quicker. For example, and people don't realize how to think outside the box, or I call it read the tea leaves, because they're so emotional. That's what's driving things today. Now, let me give you an idea what I'm talking about. There's 5 ways. I call them the 5 M's. First of all, if you control people's minds right now are so controlled over. I don't even say that word. I don't even talk about it. I just call it that thing or situation, because every time you hear we're so busy. We love negative. We eat negative, and I can't stand it. I don't allow it in my vocabulary. Matter of fact, if I brought my dictionary out and asked you for a couple words, can't and don't, they're cut out of my dictionaries. When somebody says I can't do this, I say, get here, explain it. It's not in my. I cut it out because I don't accept it anyway. But if you control people's mind, that's what's going on today. With their minds. Control with negative, like deer in the headlight, they stop. And that's why I say call everybody in your team who's in your organization to wake them up, because people stopped as March 18th. They're paralyzed. They don't know that they have the answer right there in their business to help more people. And they're just paralyzed because they're watching CNN, constantly negative news, and all these other stations. So next, not only mine, but you control people's money. Well, guess what? I'm not making no money. What I need to do. Well, now we got stimulus going out. The third thing is military, which I can't control that, which we know. And the 4th M is the media. The media does nothing but start a bunch of negative, and we feed off that negative. And the last M is medicine, or the vaccine. So once you understand life and look through the crystal balls and understand how to read the tea leaves, it's not that difficult to see the next year or two is going to be. Right. I can almost forecast it because it's pretty simple to see if you read the tea leaves. But that's getting off the subject right now. But let's go back to understanding the simplicity of what we have, because I could talk about this stuff because I'm really, anyway, let's go back to an opportunity. We have one of the greatest opportunities in this business because see, most people don't realize they've been asleep. They've been all boxed in. See, right now, the average person feel all boxed in because they've been in a house shaped like a box. So they all got all this tension. They're all boxed in. They're scared to wave at somebody. Somebody sneezes, because that's all that crap, that stuff I said the last 5 years. So they're all boxed in. Watch this. The average person don't realize they've been boxed in. This has boxed them in more. Look, you get up in the morning, you sleep in a bed shaped like a box. You sit down at a table, have breakfast shaped like a box. You eat cereal out of a box. You get in your car and driving to work when you did have one, drive, in a box. You sit your desk shaped like a box at 12 o'clock, eat out of the lunch box. You come back home in the box, call a car. You sit on the couch shaped like a box. You watch the TV set shaped like a box, and they die. They put you in the pine box. So that's this side. And we're trying to get people like Mr. Cooper, who's gone this side, who's on the edge. And I love that young man. and to have people see the power and the potential of becoming a 5%er. It's not that difficult. We just got to change. Here again, the first M was mindset.
Right.
Mindset. A friend of mine said something the other day. He was on my call, Mr. Dwight Williams, and he said, why is it a jet or a plane does not have rearview mirrors?
Mm.
You know why? It's going straight ahead. Ain't got nothing to look back. Ain't nobody gonna catch him.
He's going too fast. He don't care. He ain't looking back.
And plus, you're flying such an attitude, ain't nobody up there with you.
Right. I love it. I love it. Shaquille, why don't you step in? I know you got a question or two for Mr. Thomas.
I'm just soaking it up because me and Mr. Thomas, you know, we talk a lot, but I'm just like in awe. So, you know, going back to, I love that quote that you said, part of winning is losing and part of losing is winning. I'm going to steal that quote and I'm going to use it all the time. So what were some of your hardest hurdles?
Just send me $1. Just send me $1 every time you use it. I'll get wealthy on that. Just joking.
Okay, I got you. So what was one of your hardest hurdles you went through in your journey as an entrepreneur? And how did you overcome those being involved in different businesses and different industries? And I know that you own planes, banks, and so many different things. And what was some of the biggest hurdles in life? And how did you get through those hurdles in the past 30 plus years?
You know, you have a very limited circle. You know, there's a circle, then and then there's this circle, and then an inner circle, and there's a smaller circle. It's just understanding. Sometimes you have to be a lone wolf maverick. Just like I love your name, your group called the Wolf Pack. Well, Wolf Pack is going to run with a pack of people that think the same way, and they're all the same, but they're going the same direction, maybe different heights, but they're going the same. So you have to surround your people that has that same thought. And not everybody's going to have that same thought. Not everybody's going to be happy for you. So I have a very limited amount of friends. I only have 2 or 3 close friends, and that's by choice because not everybody's going to think the way you think. And for me, I knew that. Let me say it this way: there's a saying go. If I want to direct a band, even a band leader knows he's got to turn his back to the crowd to conduct the band. So I know, like anything, I have to turn my back to people. I say no to more opportunities than I say yes to because I have limited amount of time. And I want to make sure it counts. And I really want to put my time in things that I believe in and really truly want to do. So people will rob you. I call it your time, your energy, your money, and people. They'll rob you from it. So I'm very selective: time, energy, money, and people. Those are the 4. You got to be careful. And I surround myself with just a few people. I mean, when I come up with my kids, I only have 1 or 2 people come up. I mean, I'm just very selective. And I'll see them there. They know of me, but I'm very selective because you have to be. You know, not everybody's in your corner giving you 100%. You know that, Mr. Cooper. I hear your story on my calls several times. And that's one reason why I have so much great deal of respect for you as a young man to still pick up and continue on and tell everybody you're down. When you're on my calls, tell everybody what happened to you. Tell them the negative. I want to hear the negative. I don't hear the good stuff. We all got good stories, but I want to get in the trenches, go deep on you. And the beautiful thing is you got to, and that's how people learn how to avoid mistakes or not take that same mistake twice. You know, if I make it once, shame on me. If I make it twice, you know, no. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand. So one of the things that really got me was, okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to lose some along the way, but as long as I win more than I lose, that was my attitude. You know, like I said before, if I lose 2 out of 8 or 3 out of 10, I'm good because that is a great odds. Nothing is 100%. And the person that believes that is already lost because they're too scared to do anything. Pull the trigger. You know, I've had people, you all say, well, if I get $224, I may lose it. Oh, well, you already lost because you're thinking losing. What about investing? What about going and getting your hand 11 services in the first 30 days and getting qualified with a $224 and make you $600? What about that? But see, people think the negative before they go on the positive side of things. You know, so the problem is we got to rechange people's mindset. And that's why it's so important. I've been doing training with my group the other day about how to read the boxes. Don't add nothing. Just read it. See, the real meaning is after the meaning. So the more people I get reading it, just read even box number 1, telecommunications. I even put the comma in, comma. Why? I'm reading it. So when I get done, the person's looking at me like, I can read like that. I can do this. But if I get so eloquent, they go, I can't be that good. I'm not that good. I can't do that. It's okay. So we're here to encourage people. We're here to encourage people. The first rule is why did God made us is number 1 is what? To serve. To serve. And more people understand that it's not about you. You want more? Serve more people. Just serve more people. Just serve more people. Well, Mr. Thomas, I've been in ETL for a long time. Well, how do I get to the next level? Well, raise your value. Who are you helping out there? Who are you really serving? And I serve more people. All our regional directors serve more people. Our VPs serve more people. That's all.
Yeah.
See, let me tell you something. Work will never kill you. Stress being broke will kill you. I've never been to a funeral yet where the guy said he died because he was overworked. No, he died because he was stressed. He didn't have no money. Couldn't put food on the table with his family. And we in America, we live in one of the best countries. If you're out there in other countries, you forgive me, but you know, I'm still just blown away. I get up in the morning, I turn a spigot on, hot water, I turn another one 6 inches cold water. I'm still amazed at that. Because there's some parts of the world, people don't have that luxury. Right. We take things for granted.
We're blessed.
Well, we should be thankful that we have what we have. And every morning I get up with an attitude of gratitude and thankfulness. I really do.
That's great. A great message. If somebody, you know, and I ask this question pretty often in these podcasts, if somebody feels stuck, you know, I know you talk a lot about mindset. You got to get in the right mindset. If somebody feels stuck maybe right now in life, you know, maybe some depression with this whole coronavirus, they're just not feeling like as good, or they're not as certain as they used to be. Maybe they're in a rut in their business, whether it's business or whether it's personal. What advice would you give that person to help them get out of that rut? What should that person do?
You know, first of all, they need to get their mindset right. Go read a book. Let me give you a couple here. What about GoPro? Learn how to be a professional in this business. What about Mr. Schultz, The Art of Thinking Big? Because why? We think too small. Here's another one, Out of the Maze, by the author of Who Moved My Cheese. See, it goes back to studying. It's studying. There's a little black book called BIBLE, stands for Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. It's all in that little black book. And if they don't want to hear what you got to say, knock the sands off your sandals and keep stepping. So a lot of us, we get complacent in this time of need, and it's a complacency that we need to dive in more. So when things get bad, I work even harder. Most people work less. Well, why would you work less when you need to go at it a little harder? So one thing is get their mindset right. And I mean by that is start diving into things that will improve your value. Here again, let's go back to what I said earlier, your value, your self-worth. What are you going to do to improve your self-worth? Raise your value. I still read books. I mean, I got zillion books right here on my raising value, raise consciousness in yourself so you can go out and attract the right kind of person. See, how do you want to attract the right kind of person when you're not that person that they want to come to? So the law of attraction kicks in a little bit as well. So I would keep building and reading, get this right. So that's where it starts from.
And take more action.
Take more action. Action's the key. Look, I could try to go to my car all day long, but if I don't get up on my left foot over right foot over left foot, put in action, I will never get there. You see, and a lot of people want those things in life, but they're not willing to put the action up. And the fear, FEAR, false education appearing real, it's all in your mind. How many times have we all said, I'm not going to talk to so-and-so, they're already successful. And you didn't talk to them, and now all of a sudden they're in the business. Or you said, nah, I'm not going to talk to so-and-so, you know, because our pride and ego feel hurt. And ego is this edging, it stands for edging God out. Nah, I don't want to talk to them. But how do you know? And right, especially in today's market, everybody that said no to you a year ago is looking. Trust me. They're going to bed tonight holding their husband, wife, or significant other with a tear rolling down their cheek and on their pillow, looking for an opportunity, how they're going to survive this. Because now remember, the jobless claims this week alone is up 33%. Oh my God, 33. Oh my. It's bigger than, I don't want to go into that and make you feel bad, but it's bad.
Yeah.
No, we're not in a recession. We are in a depression. The numbers will come out later, but here again, it's easy to tell by reading the tea leaves. So in other words, the bright side of this, we have an antidote. We have an antidote. The man upstairs told Moses, what's that in your hand? Is it a snake or is it a stick? I'm telling you, we got the blessings. We have financial antidote for people that need it today. Stimulus, we have the stimulus right now. You know, we have something that they can work from home from. We can get paid from home without even walking out the door. So right now we're in the perfect storm for our business because everybody's praying and looking for us. Yeah. And I'm getting calls, people that said no or looking at, hey, yeah, let me get my money. You know, it's amazing. And like I said, never in our lifetime has a whole world stood still. And the United States alone is 330 million people praying, looking for us.
We can help. That's awesome. Shaquille, you want to go ahead and got another question for Al?
I just have a question because I know one time when we talked in a webinar, I was talking about my vision board and my, goals and dreams. What were some of your goals growing up, and what were some of your goals that you achieved that most people would think you're crazy for thinking that you can do this? What are some of your craziest goals that you was actually able to accomplish that most people would think that you're crazy?
Yeah.
Well, when my mentor gave me a ride on that jet of his, guess what my mind did? It opened up. And I said, wait a minute, now if he can do it, why can't I do it? And I think a lot of times we think because where we're born, where we're raised, that we can't. My dad was a sergeant. That I think that I'd be an entrepreneur. Let me tell you what happened for me. When I was a kid, my dad been in the military and he worked at the motor pool. So he's always getting his hands greasy under the car. Back in those days, you can fix cars. And my old man had me out on Saturday, and I never forget this. I'm under the hood with him, and he says, pass me this, pass me that. And I was passing, my hand was getting dirty. I was like, oh my God. I don't like getting my hands dirty. My nails are cut short, hair cut short, shoes. And that right there drove me wild to get my hands dirty. I said, I got to figure a way to use this and not this or this. Does that make sense? So at that point, I started seeking out. The key is seeking, looking. What could I do to make 10 times more doing less and less? That's power, never marketing. Doing less and less, getting paid more and more. Addition versus multiplication. And once I decided to seek out what successful people did, and then number two, I started studying them. I started buying books on them. I started just wanting to know. And then I started trying out, because I had no teachers at that point per se. I started trying out what they did and found out it worked. And I said, man, why do more people not do this? Why not? Because they sold themselves down by non-belief. Let me ask everybody out there watching today. Let me ask you guys all a question. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? But see, most of us, we think failure before we think positive. What would you do if you couldn't fail? Could you be a regional director, SVP? What would you do? You see, so when I wanted to meet my mentor, here's what I told a friend of mine. His name is Mark. Oh my God, down in San Jose, I live in Sacramento. I want to meet Peter Daniels. And then about a month later, because I put it out in Universe. Why are we so scared to tell our goals? See, most of you won't hit your goals because you're scared to tell people. What if I don't hit them? So what? My phone rang. I was taking flight lessons at the time before I bought my first little plane. I had a little 414, and then I went to a Citation and then to a Gulfstream. And I said to him, I said, look, I want to meet this guy. And about a month later, he called me up. I was taking flying lessons, and he said, hey, this guy Peter Dan is going to be in the Bay Area tonight. So I called my instructor up. I said, can I take your plane out, and I'll pay for gas, and let me fly it down so I get the time on the plane. And we flew down to Oakland, and I called my other partner. I have a limousine service at the time down there. I invested in. Hey man, I have a limo waiting for me. So I went down to Tuxedo. Me and another buddy of mine, and we flew down the plane. We got off 3 steps into the limo and off to see Peter Daniels, and he was at the hotel there in Hayward. And I walked in, like 800 people there. I walked in with a tuxedo. He was speaking. So when he saw me walk in, I was the only guy in the room with a tuxedo. His eyes and my eyes locked. And the meeting was over. I just hung around, and people taking pictures, autographs, all this. I just hung around. He kept looking at me. I just hung around. The crowd went from maybe 50 people around him to 10 to 5, and then it was just him and I. And I said, sir, my name is Mr. Al Thomas, and my chariot awaits you. My limousine is waiting to take you and your wife back to wherever you want to go. And he was just blown away. And then I came all the way from San Jose, and I told him I flew down on the plane and just to meet him, and he was blown away. We became friends that night. And I could go in the other room, show you some books I'm on his books. Matter of fact, hold on a second. Now, here's one of his books. It says The Awesome Power of Public Speaking. The Awesome Power. See, a lot of us come out speaking, but are you a public speaker? And that's who taught me how to be a great public speaker, orator. And the back of the book, remember, look at this guy here. That's me.
Awesome.
Years ago. Now, why is that? Because I took it upon myself to wanting to meet him and go out of my way. How many people would have called their flight instructor, say, get the plane ready. I got the gas, call a limousine. Hey, had a limo out there waiting on the airports. 3 steps out the limo, out of jet, into the plane, into the limo to go meet this man. I mean, just spur of the moment. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, well, not tonight, short notice. No, leaders make it happen. And since then, we became dear friends. How to be happy, though happy, rich is Rolls Royce. I will tell you something. So just because of that, we got together. And he started sharing wealth principles with me. He's Australian. So that was one of them. But the whole idea is just that I wanted to know. I was willing to go out and do whatever I had to do. If I had to go out there and wash his house down or wash his car, I don't care. Because I wanted the knowledge of people that they don't do that.
Wow.
I wanted to know. I wanted to know. I wanted to know. I wanted to know. And I was willing to pay the price. And so if you're taking notes, write this down. There's a price to pay for greatness. There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay. So that was one of the stories. I met him. We became friends. We communicated. Matter of fact, he had me go to the International Youth for Christ across the world in Singapore. And there was a rainbow that followed the plane all the way across the ocean to Singapore. And I was in Singapore, and he offered me on the board. And I was still a young whippersnapper. I was so scared. Like, oh, why me on the board? You know. But then again, sometimes God has a calling on your life, just like this business is a calling on to help more people. And I think a lot of us don't understand that. It's not about just money. People don't follow. If you're taking notes, write this down. People don't follow money. They follow people with visions. They follow people with vision. How big is your vision? Does your vision scare you? Because my vision scares me. It's huge. And I'm still here until I finish that goal of that vision.
I love it.
And most people never get nowhere successful because they chase the money. I don't chase the money. I chase vision. The money comes if you chase the vision right.
Al, we're coming up to our hour, and I know you are just awesome. You moved some things around for us today to be on here. If somebody's watching this, maybe for the first time, they're considering getting involved with this industry. They've seen a presentation, and maybe even they've got into the business. They've got into network marketing, got into this industry, but they're just still unsure, haven't really made that decision to really do it. What would be your advice to that person as we end? And this could be the last question.
You know, Nike has the best commercial I've ever seen. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. See, let me give you a story about Nike. Let me tell you about. I'm going back to Michael Jordan again with the Nike. So it's crazy. I've got a guy on my organization that played ball with Michael, but every time he goes crazy. But Nike, let me tell you what happened. Nike came out, and Nike was trying to figure out that they needed a star, and they couldn't find a star. And one of the guys had an idea. Here again, let's look at our company. An idea how to serve more people. And he went to Phil Knight and he said, "Look, I got an idea. I got a guy. He plays for North Carolina. He's going to be a superstar in the future. We need to go sign this young kid." And Phil said, "We don't have that kind of money. You know, we got 50,000." These guys said, "Yeah, you would, Phil. You give him this guy 50, this guy 75, sign this guy 100,000." He's, "What if you just downplay those guys and take $500,000 and go to this guy? And I tell you, he's going to be a future star. We need to sign him." And he thought about it. He said, "Okay, let's get the guy in here." So they went to Michael Jordan, and they came to Michael, and they said, "Look, we'll give you $500,000." He said, "I didn't want that. All Michael Jordan wanted was $250,000 and a Lamborghini." And they signed him to a 2-year contract. Most people don't even know this. He went on to make $20 billion in the last decade. Because here again, like I said, I study people. I study wealth. Most of us don't study it. We look at it. We don't study it.
Right.
So there's a reason. So here's what you want to do. You're talking about a couple $100. What do you got to lose? Here's what I tell people. $1.38 is what it costs you. A day. So think about it. Are you not worth $1.38 a day to try something? Come on. We're not talking about 50 grand fire. We're talking about a couple dollars.
Right.
Here's the problem. Do you trust you? The system's been working for 27 years, our company. We're in 26 years, 26 years, 25 years. Look, we're in 27 countries. We're debt free. We have over 3,000 people in 27 countries worldwide to help you. But look, let me tell you something about our company. All the hard stuff's been done. All the structure's been taken care of. Contracts, software, hardware, license has been done. The back office, the front office. Bookkeeper's been taken care of. The computer system's put up. CPA's been handled. The attorneys make sure the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. We got backup on the cloud out there somewhere. All the engineers, we lock them up at night. The one thing is missing is you. All the stuff's been, we haven't even tracked the run on. It's you. We got some of the greatest gentlemen. It's you. It's you. And you got great help and support. That's what I love about this company. But you got to get out there and go for it. I would hate to be the one to tell my kids, hey, I would have did it, but I was afraid. How do you even say that to your kids or grandkids? Think about it. What do you have to lose? I mean, what do you really have to lose? Nothing.
And then you hear or I'm too busy, or huge success in business. You know, a lot of people would have been afraid to talk to you or intimidated to talk to you. So, and then you've got people that are saying, I'm already good. I make a lot of money. I'm busy. I don't have time. What would you say to those people? Because
wonderful. If they're too busy, if you're too busy, thank you so much for your time. Who do you know that's not as busy as you are? Who do you know that's not in your shoes? And I tell that people all the time. Some people, they're priding, hey, that's fine. I appreciate your time, but could you refer me to a couple people who are not making as much as you are? Could you turn me on to some people that might want to save some money? Could you do that for me? I always ask for referrals. Number one, always shoot to become an independent business owner. Number one, because that's where the wealth starts. Number two, become a customer of mine. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to help try to feed some children. Thank you so much. And number three, if it's not for you, we appreciate your time. Give me some referrals of somebody who is not as well off as you are, who does need to make some money, who doesn't know where the next bill is coming from down the road in 6 months, who has to cover their payments. Who do they? So give me some referrals. So referrals are so powerful in this business. If they don't want to do the business, then get them as a customer. See, we have free shots every time I sit down and talk to somebody. A, IBO, B, a customer, or C, refer me to somebody. That's all there is.
Right.
And I tell people all day, you got to get paid for your time. So when I sit down with somebody, I got to get one of those three out of them. See, that's the beautiful. Any way they look, A, B, or C, I'm still a winner. I'm still a winner.
Right.
And that's why people don't understand. Well, oh, my friend didn't sign up. Next.
Right.
Next. You asked a girl out, she said, no, you didn't go in the backyard boot. You said next. Why do we get so emotional? Get the emotions out of it. It's a numbers game. Some will, some won't, somewhere 6 will. It's a numbers game. Everything in life's numbers. Your eyesight's a number, ring size number, waist size number, car's got 30 different numbers on it. Your address is a number, your phone number's a number, everything's a number. And once you understand the numbers, it's like, oh my God, I never looked at it that way. Of course not. Listening to.
Yeah.
Wow. If you got to listen, it's all numbers, folks. Everything in life is numbers. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times. It's all numbers. Adding or multiplication. It's all numbers. And once you understand the basics, you got it. You'll be successful.
I love it. And
I
think
my address, email.
And I think that's the whole thing too, is, me coming from a business background like you, I went through the last recession. I see what's happening. This thing isn't going to rebound fast. There's a lot of people going to be hurt by this whole thing for years to come. And hopefully this has woken some people up that are successful, are busy, they own businesses, but now, they're able to look past that and say, I've got to diversify.
Their businesses, I hate to say, is not coming back. Let me say something. We just entered the eye of the hurricane. We haven't got to the eye yet. We just entered the hurricane. We haven't got to the eye where it's even calmer. We're having a breather. The sun's out, everybody's happy, everybody's cheerful. They're walking out of their houses, they feel great. Look, by the end of the year, this is election year. They got to keep the lights on. End of the year, by next year in August, it's going to be, let me just say this. What a wonderful time to be involved with this business. And if I were you, I'd be working harder than you ever worked hard like I am. I'm just taking it from doing meetings to do more of these every day. I do about 5 a day, every day, 6 days a week, 7 days I rest in Lord's Day. But I'm telling you, I have never been more excited because I can work. Watch this. I do more and more by doing less and less. You know how much money I save by not even traveling? Traveling from that room to this room, that part of the house, that's part, right back here. This is my whole office turned into a studio now. And that's what I love about what I'm saying. Yeah. Since March 18th, we entered a brand new era. A brand new era. a brand new era. And you got to go with it. Who moved my cheese? Your cheese have been moved. You better move with it and find new cheese. That's what society's saying. And that's what I love about our business, because if you don't catch up, you're going to get left behind. And that's the beauty of what we're doing right now, because the good old days ain't never coming back. So the question is, what are you going to do for you and your family?
Wow.
And that's why I'm so excited for what we're doing in ACN.
Man.
So excited, so excited, so excited. If you're listening to me, I'll give you my email address. No, was it supposed to do that?
Yeah, it's all good. I'll post it. We'll post it at the bottom.
You know,
to get in touch with
and just get started with whoever got you on the call. Go back to the person that got you. Yeah. If you're an IBO in this business, I hope that encouraged you, because I'm gonna tell you something. The best is yet to come.
Right.
And what I mean by that, I'm telling people, some of you are gonna get 100 people a month. Some of you do 100 people a week, because we just touched a brand. Look, like I say, a brand new era. What's that in Star Trek? We're gone where no man's gone before right now.
Right.
And if you can't get a hold of that, then you're gonna miss out on one of the best opportunities in a lifetime, because there's only a couple that come along in a lifetime. And right now, it's a brave new world out here.
I agree.
You have to embrace it or get left behind. Mr. Roop, thank you so much. Mr. Cooper, you're an amazing young man. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for having me on the call. I just want to say thank you all, and I hope I touched somebody's life out to let them know, you know, I'm nobody special. I'm nobody special. I got no degrees. I've been no major colleges. I barely got out of high school. My mother dropped me 3 times as a baby. That's why I got this twitch. I'm not all here, but I'm committed. See, that's the key word. I'm committed. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Wow. Powerful.
Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, thank you so much. And we appreciate your time. And I know this has impacted a lot of people in a positive way. So we will see you all next Friday. We're going to keep these things rolling. This is a time, a new era. A lot of people are being hurt right now. We can help a lot of people. The game is changing. The industry, the world is changing. And we're right in the forefront of it in the network marketing industry right now. So when a lot of companies are hurting and shutting down and laying people off, we're providing more opportunities than ever before. So Mr. Thomas, thank you so much. We'll post your information for people to get in touch with you. Shaquille, I'll see you next Friday, and we're going to keep inspiring the world with these podcasts. So,
all right,
God bless you. God bless everybody. Be safe out there.
Yep, Shaquille.
God bless.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. Let's end the week strong. Take care.